Good morning, evening, EDL-558, Dr. DeVita. My name is Eddie Knighton, and I'm in the Higher Education Administration program. This is my second semester, and this is my Module 1 initial reflection video. Under 5 minutes, we're supposed to define social justice, explain what identities and experiences shaped our development and perspectives of social justice, and what concepts have stood out to you. I'm assuming so far that that's from the reading that we did. How do I define social justice? This definition is a bit of an amalgamation of things that I've heard, but it is in fact my definition. Social justice is an idea, philosophy, or movement centered on the premise that wealth, opportunity, and resources should be distributed equally without discrimination or privilege. Social justice operates under the postmodern mandate to expose, understand, minimize, and eventually eliminate privilege and unmerited advantages given due to cultural, social, and biological norms pertaining to race, gender, or sexual orientation within the dominant culture. Some experiences and identities that have shaped my development and perspectives on social justice. I'm a white male. That's pretty apparent. Middle-aged, heterosexual, cisgendered, and able-bodied. I would say underneath the description or just a brief discussion about my privilege from them. In terms of being white, I don't really feel that I have to think about race so much. And also, I find it relatively easy, less so the older I get, but relatively easy to find employment. As a male, I'm preemptively respected, and I don't fear for my safety for the most part. As a heterosexual cisgendered, I don't face any discrimination there. And as an able-bodied worker, I'm also preemptively respected, and I don't find that I get a lot of discrimination against potential employers. As far as target or oppressed groups that I'm affiliated with, there's a few, but the main two that comes to mind is my religious beliefs. One, that I'm atheist. That's not very accepted in society for the most part. When people ask me about it, I just tell people that I'm a Buddhist, which isn't necessarily a lie, but I consider myself as an atheist, but I'm also closeted because I'm afraid that it would limit my social network, and I would face discrimination with employers, specifically in the South. Low socioeconomic status. The primary problems there is some terms I learned last semester in EDL-560, which is low economic, cultural, and social capital. I'm constantly anxious about economic issues. I'm being mounted with a soul-crushing debt to go to school, like many of us. As far as cultural capital, I'm very self-conscious about my Southern accent, and I somewhat experience an imposter complex, no matter where I'm at, whether or not I'm in graduate school or at a professional job or what have you, and that has negative effects on your self-opinion and confidence. In terms of low social capital, don't have a lot of friends, so therefore I don't really have a large social network. So considering that jobs come from networking, I find that, I'm applying for jobs like most people and getting looked over. What concepts from the reading stood out? This is a little bit jumbled, but the thing that stood out to me is the three approaches to social justice and the dimensions of oppression and how they complement each other. You start out from the small, working your way to the large. You have the individual dimensions of oppression and the way social justice approaches it, which essentially, if I'm correct, believes that you start out as a blank slate and that you're socialized from your culture and society at large from birth, till it moves into the institutional area where social institutions such as family, government, business and industry, education, the legal system, what have you, starts to add a sociological dimension to your what will be identity. Then it moves out to the largest context, which is the social, cultural, and the philosophical and political discourses, which pretty much states that the dominant cultural perspective is imposed on institutions by individuals, which therefore impose that on the individual, which impose that on the institution. So these dimensions of oppression become a cycle. When I look at that, and I also see the identity formation that was on page 10 to 12, how the identity formation starts out at the micro level, moves to the middle and the macro level, and how it sort of mirrors the dimensions of oppression. I find that all of this is one big cyclical thing that creates and maintains cultural and social justice issues. Pretty vague, not marketing that I really understand that. That's just some concepts that sort of stood out immediately to me from the reading. All the resources came from the reading directly, and I appreciate you watching my video. I'm excited about being in the class, and I'm excited about watching your videos and meeting you all. Have a good day.